And so I came back, annoying everyone with my noob questions again.
Down to the middle.
Why are we taking out the paint?
Well, it just looks bad. For starters, lots of scratches and stuff that needs to be repaired. And plus, when we repaint the sides of the airplane with fresh paint, these will be right next to it. You don't want that much difference in color, so this will match up with the new paint. Yeah. Oh, hey, he got his battery done.
To the doctor?
Doctor said his battery was dead the other day. He couldn't start his engine, so I guess he got it figured out.
Did you make those new?
Nope, these were out of the plane, so we were gonna make them new, but in this vise, I'm able to straighten them out and recycle them. So
we don't need the new ones.
if we don't need new ones, then this is the way to go. So it'll just take a little bit of time, but these are gonna work great. And this is what holds up the ceiling. The liner, the headliner.
What are you working on?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm going to mix up some what's called superfill. It's just filler before you paint, and that had a little bit of crinkle, had been nosed over, so it had some rough spots, so we beat those out, Rich and John, and then I come through and put some superfill in it. Then we tried to block sand it, and then but still needs more.
You can show me the place where you're working.
Okay. This is where both sides, and John's sanding that flat right now. And I'm going to come back and put some more superfill where it's dark, not particularly around the rivets, but down in here. And this light shot at an acute angle shows up all the little low spots. So
You're using fiberfill?
Superfill.
I'm checking that out.
Yeah, if you come, you can kind of see the yellow here where it's clear, and this over here where it's a little more dull. It's where the paint's been oxidized. So when they repaint it, they'll put a thing to rejuvenate it, and then it'll stick better. And then the red would bleed through, so we got to get all the red off so that when they repaint it doesn't come through.
Those are the S20 mine are 4 cylinders, those are 6. So hopefully they'll take.
Most of the information is with Gerald and Mike, and it was nice to hear about the overall technicalities and logistic view of the project from them.
They'll be there for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, we hauled this back from Evansville, and we acquired another A65-8 Continental engine. Since it had a prop strike, we acquired a nice metal prop, Macaulay, and we mounted it on the airframe, and we're just doing the odds and ends. We've got the gasculator hooked up. We've got most of our components as far as pretty close to being able to run the engine. And then the rest of the guys are just cleaning up the fuselage, and we're also making a new cowling that was kind of bent up. Here's a new piece that we made, and so it will go on the side to cover the engine. Here's the bottom scoop that's been repaired.
So this is the repaired one.
What's that?
This one is the repaired one.
Yeah, this is the repaired one.
So about maybe 50% of the cowling is new.
Well, as far as the bottom cow is new. The top one we'll reuse, and the nose bow we'll reuse. So there's the painting is probably the biggest job that we'll have to tackle next. And we're going to paint the side of the airplane and the tail. The wings look pretty good. They'll need to be touched up. So that's
And we have already fixed the wings for the most part.
the wings.
Yeah.
We have one little place that we need to try to shrink. The fabric is barely wrinkled. It's just a little bit. So, but the wings look pretty good. We had a tip repair that we had to do, and we'll have to sand that and primer it, we'll get the right paint for this. This is hopefully a stitch process, but all in all, we're coming right along on it. You know.
And how about the interior?
The what?
The interior.
The interior is what we'll do next, and try to get it lined out. There's some pieces that are we don't need all this. We're going to cover it over, and then we'll go ahead and put the adequate instruments in it. We only need just basic, minimum equipment. This is just a fun, sunny day. Maybe even take the doors off if you want to fly around the airplane. But a lot of people have flown these coast to coast. If you got a lot of time, you can do that. But we're going to try to get as many that want to do it as far as checked out in a tail dragger. Tail dragger means that the tail wheel's on the back. This is called a tricycle gear.
Okay, so what's the status on the project?
Well, on the project, it's kind of interesting to go back and think about how we got this. I was contacted by EAA National in Oshkosh via email that they were looking for a chapter that might be interested in a retrofit problem or project for this Taylorcraft. And so I contacted Mr. Egan back at Oshkosh, and he gave me an update on kind of what they were looking for. The aircraft itself was physically located in Evansville, Indiana, so it wasn't too far away from us. So I got the group together of our members. We sat down, talked about it. We got on the phone with the owner, spoke with him about what the condition of the airplane was. And since we have 2 A&P IAs on staff here as far as our membership is concerned, we felt like we had enough knowledge to be able to do the rebuilding of the airplane. So 3 of us went down to Evansville and we took a look at it. It was in a hangar back in the corner, just kind of sitting there for quite some time, and did an evaluation on it. It appeared to be in reasonably good shape considering the age and the issues that faced us. The biggest problem being the engine. The owner had a prop strike with it when it came out of an annual in 2019. And from that point on, the airplane just sat in the corner and was no interest in doing anything with it. Our hope was when we got the airplane that the engine would be salvageable and we could overhaul it and just put it back in the airplane. It turns out that the crank had been bent on the engine and that it was beyond tolerance. There was no way to use it. So we had to find another engine. Fortunately, one of the A&Ps, Mike, has a lot of contacts around Indiana and found an engine down in Salem at the Piper Museum that had been on display, not in an airplane. So we drove down there, took a look at it, felt like it was in pretty good shape. It had 800 hours on it, which isn't that bad. Had been overhauled prior to that, obviously. And so we purchased that engine, and that's what's currently on the airplane. We're still waiting on our slick mags to go on the engine, and we just received the wiring harnesses. We've got a little bit of cowling work to do to get everything straightened out. It had some pretty bad cowling on the bottom of the engine's bay, so there's a lot of work to be done yet on the engine. Hopefully we can get it started here in the next couple of weeks once we get the mags. Long-term goal for the airplane was, as a project for the chapter, to try to bring people together and working and and enjoying the aviation aspects of rebuilding an old airplane like this. The Taylorcraft's 1946, so we're looking at a 75-year-old airplane here. So our long-term goal, of course, is to get it refurbed. We're putting new interior in it with engine, paint, some upgrades all along the way with interior work and instrument panel work. The goal, of course, is at the end of this project, we're going to put it up for sale and see what the market will bear. We'd like to sell the airplane. We'll have flown the airplane for some time prior to going on sale to make sure of the reliability of it. But we get it out there and get it for sale and find a purchaser for that, then the money that comes in after we pay all of our bills will go into our chapter account and be able to support us in other projects throughout the year. We've got several things that we've got lined up for July 4th parade and some possibilities on an air show that we can support here at Bloomington down the road. So that's kind of where the project stands right now. It's coming along. Fortunately, we've got the knowledge with the people to get the job done right. And I do believe that once we're finished, it's going to be a very nice looking airplane, very reliable, and will be a joy for someone to fly it.